Hi, my name is Michael Jackson.
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 Will the real Michael Jackson please stand forward?
Quarter to 9.
Michael Jackson had seen countless fans imitate his clothes, his voice, and his legendary dance moves. But every once in a while, someone appeared who went far beyond simple imitation. The resemblance was so convincing that seeing them face to face created a strangely surreal moment. And when Michael finally noticed just how closely one particular lookalike had recreated his appearance, his reaction was something nobody around him expected. I've met Michael several times. I worked for him on several occasions. I performed at his birthday parties in New York and Los Angeles. I went to Neverland. So I met him on many occasions, good and bad. I met him when he was having a good time promoting his album and tours in 92 and 93. Then I met him when the allegations broke out, and I was outside the courthouse, dressed up in a smooth criminal outfit with a sign saying smooth but not a criminal. From lookalikes who could draw attention away from Michael in public to performers who eventually found themselves standing just feet away from the man they had spent years studying. Their stories went far beyond ordinary impersonation. And one of the most fascinating was Isanova. Unlike the countless fans practicing Michael's moonwalk in front of a bedroom mirror, Isanova turned his resemblance into something professional. The clothes, the mannerisms, the movements, every detail was carefully studied. Well, it was a lot more than what I expected. And to me, Mike's at the top of his game. He's 43 years old, and he's still, he don't look like he lost a step. Michael, you don't ever have to do anything else again in your life. You've proved it already. Michael Jackson is by far, hands down, the greatest artist of all time. And my devotion to him is single-mindedly. It's loving. It's pure. It's unconditional. But looking like Michael Jackson was one thing. Actually entering Michael's world was something else entirely. My name is Casanova. I'm very happy to be bringing to you my exciting Michael Jackson tribute concert entitled World's Greatest. Ianova's Hollywood breakthrough came in 1989 when he portrayed a digital Michael Jackson-style waiter in Back to the Future Part 2. By the early 90s, his resemblance had caught the attention of Jackson's team, leading to double work connected to Michael's productions. But his biggest moments came when he actually entered Michael's orbit, including performing for him in New York and appearing at Michael Jackson-related events. One particularly strange image later circulated online, showing two nearly identical Michael Jackson figures sitting side by side on a production set, fueling jokes, confusion, and one irresistible question. Which one is actually Michael? What we're doing is we're trying to bring to you the best of Michael Jackson live. Michael Jackson was a friend of mine, and everything I've ever done has been a tribute to him, and this show is nothing less than that. Something very befitting of the king of pop. Buddy Casanova wasn't the only impersonator who managed to enter Michael Jackson's world. While his resemblance brought him opportunities in entertainment and put him face to face with Michael, another lookalike reportedly served an even more unusual purpose, helping Michael disappear from massive crowds. So you're 41-ish or something like that years old. So he's been doing this since he was like 20 years old. I was a very 15, a very, very young boy. Yeah. I am looking at you fully beat with full lipstick. But somehow it's normal. Well, because you're Michael or something. Well, that man was Nas, a Trinidad-born performer whose transformation into Michael Jackson became so convincing that he says it eventually took him beyond the stage and into Michael's inner circle. And you are now the #1 impersonator of Michael Jackson. Has it made you millions of dollars? Untold wealth? Yachts? I never did it for millions of dollars. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Yes. But has it made you? No. And I tell you why. Because I do things for opportunity, for journey. And I've had a great journey with it. I've traveled the world with it. And I'm just grateful to do what I do. I love the music. I love what he was about, who he was, the person. According to Nas, beginning in the 1990s, he occasionally worked as a decoy for Michael Jackson. At hotels, airports, and other crowded locations, Michael could be surrounded by photographers and screaming fans within seconds. I myself was a decoy in the Far East, and 2,500 people chasing me. And it's frightening. So, to kind of do that scene just now, it's a little taste of what it's like to be Michael Jackson. Michael has always been a gentleman. He's always been humble and encouraging. He's always told me to, keep doing. You're a great dancer. To be I'm honest with you. It's whether you met Michael once or 25 times, it's still amazing. And it's still like, wow, what do you say? Nas would dress like him and deliberately appear at one exit, attracting the attention of the waiting crowd. While cameras and fans followed the person they believed was Michael, the Real Jackson could reportedly slip away through another route. He is also teaching other fans how to moonwalk. So, if you're starting the moonwalk, you have to start off with a basic step. Push up on your right foot till your left foot gets to this point, and you transfer your weight onto the toes and you slide back. And you keep doing that. Change until you get the motion. Push him back on one foot. Then you transfer your weight onto this foot and slide back and back and back. In August 2003, Nas received an opportunity few Michael Jackson impersonators could ever imagine, performing a medley of Michael's songs during celebrations for the singer's 45th birthday, with Michael himself watching. The performance reportedly received an enthusiastic response, and Nas was later invited to Neverland Ranch. His connection to Michael became even more personal during the 2005 trial. Nas traveled from London to California to publicly support Jackson outside the courthouse. He even secured an opportunity to enter the courtroom through the public lottery system. So, I stood with Michael in good and bad times. But he was very determined that in the second court case that he would make sure that he dealt with this matter. And he went through it, and I think it took a toll on him. It really did. But he knew that the mistakes that were made in the first court case where the public opinion was maybe he had something to hide, and he didn't understand the system, and he said that he didn't do it. The family of the first case agreed that, and that the papers were sealed. He didn't pay any money, but all this only came to light in the second case. So working with Michael Jackson, I've seen the good and the bad. I've seen his highs and his lows. I've seen at times his smiles and his tears. And it's good that I have this opportunity to play Michael in this biopic, in this movie. More than a decade later, his years of studying Michael's voice, movements, appearance, and mannerisms led to perhaps the biggest role of his career. In 2017, Nas was selected to portray Michael Jackson in Lifetime's Michael Jackson, Searching for Neverland. It was an extraordinary progression from performing like Michael to helping protect his privacy to eventually becoming the man chosen to portray him on screen. Being a Michael Jackson fan, I came from the Caribbean to London, and then I'm Michael Jackson dominated, the 80s. And I loved his music. I love how he stood for. I like that. He's got an English accent by nature, but as Michael, he's speaking a little bit different. Yeah. But I lived in London for a long time, so I have a very British accent. Several of my staffers saw the movie. They said, "You did a stellar job." Yeah. And I can't wait. I have a copy of it, but I want to watch it with all the commercials in between and all that. I want to watch it when it comes on Lifetime, and luxuriate with a snack. Well, it's a great movie, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in it, but I was offered many other opportunities over the years. So, you broke your nose. You're 15 years old. What makes you want to impersonate Michael Jackson? And what do your parents, what does your family say? That's great. I've been over 62 different countries, 6 continents, and I get to travel the world a lot. This year alone, I was in the Caribbean, China, Malaysia. But when you're 15, what do you say to your people? How do they just released you? Released. No, my parents are very disciplined, and they said you can do this, but you carry on studying, and if you can prove that you can make a living from it, then they'll let me carry on with it. But while Nas' resemblance reportedly gave him a practical role in Michael Jackson's world, the next lookalike reached the Jackson family in a completely different way. Not through a job, but through years of dedication as a fan. Meet Carlo Riley, a Denver-based tribute artist better known as Almost MJ. With facial features naturally resembling Michael during his later years, Riley spent years perfecting the clothing, hairstyles, expressions, and details that made his transformation increasingly convincing. But there was one thing he still wanted more than anything else: to meet Michael Jackson himself. That opportunity finally came in March 2007, when Riley traveled to Tokyo for an exclusive event celebrating the 25th anniversary of Thriller. Only a few hundred fans were able to attend, and Riley arrived dressed in a carefully recreated late-era Michael Jackson outfit. This is a dream right now. I know. And are you really? Is your heart pumping? I'm about to start screaming. Promise I love you more and much more. Promise you won't laugh at 50. Then came the moment he had been waiting for. When Michael noticed Riley, he reportedly did a double take before greeting him with a handshake. Michael also complimented Riley's outfit. It was a brief interaction, but one that meant far more to a tribute artist who had spent years studying his style. And surprisingly, Riley's connection to the Jackson world didn't end in Tokyo. Excuse me. We just got these from the drugstore. These glasses, but let me say thank you. The performances tonight were phenomenal. You guys are just incredible. Everybody was just really outstanding, and I really, really loved it. And I like to say I can read. Over time, he became acquainted with several people connected to the family. He attended an event for Michael's father, Joe Jackson, met Michael's longtime costume designer, Michael Bush, and also crossed paths with members of the Jackson family, including Janet Jackson and Prince Jackson. Carlo also met Michael's mother, Katherine Jackson. Riley already possessed facial features that helped create his resemblance, but he continued refining his appearance over the years, including undergoing a cosmetic rhinoplasty. What started as admiration had eventually taken him somewhere he probably never expected. From simply looking like his idol to standing face-to-face with Michael Jackson himself, and later forming connections with the family, whose legacy he had spent years celebrating. Carlo Riley reached Michael Jackson through years of fan devotion. But the next impersonator took things in a more professional direction, turning his resemblance into international performances and promotional work connected to Michael's name. Meet Ernest Valentino, a Florida-born entertainer who became one of the better-known Michael Jackson tribute artists, particularly in Europe. What did you do for him? I was a decoy for fans where when Michael would finish a tour, I would go this way, so Michael can go this the other way. And they thought you were him. Yes, it's a very dangerous job, actually, because see the impact of the fans, how much they really love Michael Jackson, and I've had my costumes ripped and torn because fans thought I was my Valentino didn't rely on appearance alone. He carefully studied Michael's choreography, stage presence, costumes, and mannerisms, building a performance convincing enough to attract attention far beyond ordinary tribute shows. I would like for everyone to understand why I impersonate Michael Jackson. It's because, first and foremost, I love him so very much, and my only mission is to spread his message of love, peace, and unity. Something he advocated his entire life, so that man can understand that love is and will always be the key to resolving all of man's problems. His career reportedly crossed into Michael-related promotional work during the 1990s. In 1996, around the launch of the beverage mystery Fresh Cool Magic Valentino, became involved in promotional appearances connected with the product. But for Valentino, professional recognition was only part of the story. What mattered even more was receiving acknowledgement from Michael himself. One of their most memorable encounters came on June 15, 2002, during the Killer Thriller event at London's Equinox. Valentino took the stage and performed a high-energy Michael Jackson tribute featuring songs including Jam and Billie Jean. And somewhere in the venue, Michael Jackson was watching. Michael reportedly appeared from a private balcony during the event, creating a surreal moment for both Valentino and the audience. The two would also meet backstage, giving Valentino something few impersonators ever received, the opportunity to perform as Michael Jackson, while the real Michael was actually there to see it. Valentino's admiration also extended beyond the stage. He became known for charitable activities in Germany and continued publicly supporting Michael during difficult periods. This glove is so famous. It's really famous, huh? Yes, it is. Okay. You have met Michael? Yes. How was this first time that you met? This was during the filming of the Bad video. Me and Michael came out of each other, and he stood there, and I stood in front of him, and he looked at me, and he said, "You look good." I had my camera, but when I looked at him, I was a bit in shock. And then I yelled, I said, "Michael, Michael." And he turned around and I said, "Wave at me." And he waved. And then after that, We met and we started talking, and then I started to work for him, and he gave you an award. As the best double of you or what? No, 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 no. I just work for him on the tours, promoting a certain products and things like this. You work for him? Yes. During Jackson's 2005 trial, Valentino traveled to California and appeared outside the courthouse during the jury deliberations, once again demonstrating his support. For Valentino, impersonating Michael Jackson became much more than wearing the right clothes or mastering famous dance moves. The man he had spent years portraying eventually saw the performance himself and personally acknowledged the person behind the imitation. Excuse me. Hands up. I don't understand. Why? Who are you? My name is Ernest Valentino. Show us your ID. I'm sorry. Have I done something wrong? You look like Michael Jackson. That's what I've been told. I'm an impersonator. Are you saying the truth? What are you doing here? I'm waiting for someone. Why? You live in Cyprus. No, no, no. I'm here for some engagements. What do you mean? I'm here for some shows. Okay. Nice to meet you. Good to meet you too. Ernest Valentino focused on recreating Michael's performance. But the next tribute artist became obsessed with another part of the transformation, the extraordinary costumes that made Michael instantly recognizable. Meet Christopher Gasper, a Michael Jackson tribute artist who took wardrobe accuracy to another level. Rather than simply finding clothes that looked similar from a distance, Gasper reportedly studied Michael's stage outfits down to the smallest details. Thank you. During the Dangerous and History eras, Michael's wardrobe had become almost as iconic as his music. Military-style jackets, metallic details, elaborate embroidery, belts, and carefully placed insignias all contributed to a look that was unmistakably his. Gasper worked to recreate that image as closely as possible. His costumes were reportedly constructed with careful attention to the materials, patterns, embroidery, and decorative elements associated with designs created for Michael by longtime costume designers Michael Bush and Dennis Tompkins. That attention to detail helped Gasper stand apart from many ordinary impersonators. His tribute performances eventually reached international audiences, including shows and television appearances across Europe and South America. 2-3. But after spending years attempting to recreate Michael's appearance, Gasper eventually faced the ultimate test. What would Michael himself think of it? Gasper reportedly received an opportunity to meet Michael privately backstage while dressed in one of his fully recreated stage outfits, and Michael immediately noticed the details. According to accounts of the encounter, Michael gave Gasper a surprise double take before examining the replica more closely. Michael, famous for being extremely particular about his stage wardrobe, reportedly studied the uniform and complimented the craftsmanship, including its detailed stitching and pattern. For a tribute artist who had spent countless hours trying to reproduce those tiny details, it was perhaps the highest compliment possible. He hadn't just convinced an audience that the costume looked authentic, he had impressed the man who originally wore it. And finally, meet Fabio Jackson, a British social media influencer and content creator who is famous for his uncanny viral resemblance to Michael Jackson. Born on June 13, 1993, he has accumulated millions of followers across platforms like TikTok by embracing his look and sharing impersonation videos. While Michael never met Fabio Jackson, Fabio did meet Michael's nephew, Jaffer Jackson. Where Michael meet Michael. The viral encounter happened in Los Angeles at the AFI Lifetime Achievement Awards. Fabio attended the event as a +1 guest of his filmmaker friend Brian Staler. By a surreal coincidence, Fabio was seated at the exact same table as Jaffer, who portrays his uncle, Michael Jackson, in the biographical film Michael. A video of you going viral, with you meeting Jaffer. What was the encounter like? Gosh, it was really just amazing, really. It was just such a feeling, and we shook hands, and he told him just like how incredible he is, congratulations, I was really happy for him. I'm happy for him. Oh my gosh. Do you think he embodies Michael and everything on the movie? Have you been able to see it? I have not been able to see it, but I am excited to see it. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out our other videos on the Michael Jackson had seen countless fans imitate his clothes, his voice, and his legendary dance moves. But every once in a while, someone appeared who went far beyond simple imitation. The resemblance was so convincing that seeing them face to face created a strangely surreal moment. And when Michael finally noticed just how closely one particular lookalike had recreated his appearance, his reaction was something nobody around him expected. I've met Michael several times. I worked for him on several occasions. I performed at his birthday parties in New York and Los Angeles. I went to Neverland. So I met him on many occasions, good and bad. I met him when he was having a good time promoting his album and tours in '92 and '93. Then I met him when the allegations broke out, and I was outside the courthouse, dressed up in a smooth criminal outfit with a sign saying smooth but not a criminal. From lookalikes who could draw attention away from Michael in public to performers who eventually found themselves standing just feet away from the man they had spent years studying. Their stories went far beyond ordinary impersonation. And one of the most fascinating was Ayasanova. Unlike the countless fans practicing Michael's moonwalk in front of a bedroom mirror, Ayasanova turned his resemblance into something professional. The clothes, the mannerisms, the movements, every detail was carefully studied. Well, it was a lot more than what I expected. And to me, Mike's at the top of his game. He's 43 years old, and he's still, he don't look like he lost a step. Michael, you don't ever have to do anything else again in your life. You've proved it already. Michael Jackson is by far, hands down, the greatest artist of all time. And my devotion to him is single-minded.